You are now listening to the thoughts and sounds of IC the God King. This is the IC Experience.
So it's still systems, no matter how high you get up. There's systems in place to kind of keep you in check, you know, and you got to be aware of that, you know. And I feel like the more people you understand their abilities, like their mind, and like you said in our last video, some people just have that light and people see it in them, you know.
Right.
And if you have that light, and to be honest, I feel like everybody has a light. They just got to wake it up in them. And then doing so, it's like there's no manual that shows you, hey, this is what you need to do. Step 2, step 3, step 4. And I think that's what this whole life experience is about. But what do you think about Puffy situation? Like,
well, I think with Puffy is, I think he probably found out what a lot of people who become wealthy and successful find out, is that if you're basing it all off of how much money you have, then that's going to come with some problems.
Yeah.
You know, because you're never the guy with the most. Like, if your whole ego and whole pride and all of that stuff is based on like, yeah, I'm the most successful. Why? Because I sold the most records. Not just that, I have more money than you. It always comes back to I'm more successful. Why? Because I have more money than you.
All right.
You know, so my whole thing is like, I'm better than you because I have more money than you. And I think when, you know, it's like you said, bro, you're always going to find someone else out there who has more than you. You know, and so you go out poking your chest out with, you know, people who, okay, maybe we got tanks, airplanes,
missiles,
hired assassins.
Right. Y'all got fucking Crips and Bloods from coming from places. This levels higher than that, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's definitely levels to it. So yeah, I think you know that's you start when you get into deep waters. I was thinking about this the other day. The word knowledge, right, is know the ledge, and this has been a reoccurring.
That's a good one, though.
That was a bar. You know, the past 3 days or so. You know, so when you break knowledge down, it's know the ledge, and I think the reason why the crux of knowing something is based on knowing where the edge is. Where does it end?
Yeah, it's like a quote in one of my favorite movies, Scarface, when and it's basically talking about the same thing you said when Tony Boss told him, "Don't go too far, Tony."
Yeah, right.
Yeah, don't go too far.
Right.
And he went too far.
Yeah, because there's an edge out there.
Yeah.
And you're gonna fall off if you don't know where it's at.
All right.
You know, and so I think it's funny because you think about somebody like Diddy, how successful he is, how long he been in the business. You would think that he
figured it out.
That he would kind of have an understanding of, like, you know, and you see some people play the game. Like, you look at somebody like, to me, like Dr. Dre, who I feel like is relatively quiet for the status that he's attained throughout his career. But, you know, you see stuff like the stuff going on with Diddy and you understand it.
You know what, that's going to bring up another point. I think that along this journey of uncovering your powers, you need a good group of people around you. Like you pointed out in that last video, if you have a vision and you see other people around you that have their strength as your weakness and y'all come together, you know, that's when that magic forms, like what we talked about. Like right now, the people watching this video, they're watching the magic happen, if you see it or not, you know. And I say that to say, we could go and tell from somebody like Puffy, who is his right-hand man? Who is his Eugene to me? You know, who is his IC to you?
Right.
You gonna need people to keep you grounded.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And then so like somebody like Puffy, I don't know who he got, But on the other side of the spectrum, somebody like LeBron, he got his homeboys with him that elevated with him. So it's like no new jokers coming in. Like he got all in house, and I'm sure there's been times where they tell him, "Hey, bro, you need to reel it back. You know, keep them grounded."
Right.
You know, somebody like academics, I don't know who is that person for him. You see what I'm saying? So not only do you got to have the gift, you also need to have people around you. And the cliche thing is like your circle. You know, keep your circle good. You know what I'm saying? And everybody got to understand the vision, the plan, and then we all got to execute.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it's really, you know, because like that second part that you said is a big part of it, right? Having people around you that know the plan and want to execute it. But it's also like as Black men in America, right? And you're successful, it's going to be difficult when you're not subscribing to the plan that America has set forth for you. You know, getting married, having kids. You need to have that going on as your foundation.
Yeah.
You know, when I was younger, I didn't really understand that. Right? That without some woman that's by your side to tell you like, yeah, you're tripping.
Right.
You know, then you're just running around out here like you see
like
Diddy, like you see Shannon Sharp. And just to be clear, I don't have no problem with, I think they should be able to live the lifestyles that they want to live and not have a problem. You know what I mean? But you know, we live under a certain structure, and this money is manufactured by certain entities here and controlled.
Yeah.
You know, and they use that to keep you kind of where they want to, kind of where they think, where they feel safe at.
And that's a good point, because, you know, as y'all see, I'm married, you know, and I remember when I first had my first child, you told me like, hey, kids are a blessing. And in a world where when I was growing up, people would look at the kids like, nigga, you're stuck, you're in trouble. That changed my mindset to be like, yeah, and I kept my life going as a blessing. And like when you get married, you know, like you said, they are there helping in ways that you don't even see, and it help you stay out of trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know all the ins and outs of what happened with the Migos. I do see from the outside they were kind of separate, but with the night that we lost good brother Takeoff, you know, Offset was at home with his wife.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you do be married, it keep you out a lot of bullshit.
Right. And as a young Black successful man in America, you're vulnerable. You know, if you have money and you have success, you're vulnerable, and these women are the easiest way to take somebody down who's run. Like, look at Shannon Sharp. Like, I'm listening to the call and hearing this girl is playing with you, bro. Like, and I don't know if you're getting, you know, if like this is just how y'all play, or if you're really worked up about this whole situation, you know? But yeah, so, you know, but he's vulnerable in that, and we all have our different vulnerabilities, you know what I mean? And
it always seems to hit these people when they at the highest. Like this whole thing with Diddy was like, they was like, he's a billionaire. Now we gotta take this nigga down. Shannon Sharp been on the incline for the last couple of years. This nigga's unstoppable.
Taking off.
You know, and they're just like, send in the sexy decoy.
Right.
Get this nigga out of here. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, you right. You definitely need, if you're gonna be successful, it's damn near like you said, you might as well go ahead and get married. Because as you see, like they came for Jay-Z. If Beyonce would have been like not on the program, it would have been bad for him. But since he married and she there, you know, that's kind of what happened with Kobe. Remember when he got into trouble, but his wife didn't leave him. You know, so yeah, it's almost like if the wife ain't on board and she leave, then she gonna leave. That leaves a big hole for the opposition to attack you.
Right. And yeah, and having someone that's there in your corner, like a woman, like they can make things happen.